Everyone. So today we are starting this chapter called redox reaction, a very important chapter for 11th as well as your 12th, because the concepts of this chapter will be used in 12th class as well. So the chapters that we are doing now, like we did thermodynamics and we did equilibrium, and now we are doing redox reaction. All these three chapters are very important. I've mentioned it before also, and I'm mentioning it even now, that the concepts of these chapters are going to be used in class 12th. So try to learn and understand the concept very well. So let's start this chapter called redox. Now redox term is made by two terms called reduction and oxidation. When we combine these two terms, it becomes redox. Now, if you feel the speed is going too fast, you can do one thing. Go on the three dots option given above on the top right corner, and you can reduce the speed. And same you can do if you have a problem with the resolution. So you can make your changes according to your convenience. Now let's begin this chapter. Now, what is redox reaction? Now, you know that oxidation. What is oxidation? Let's get to the basics first. Now, oxidation is defined as the addition of oxygen or any other electronegative element, or removal of hydrogen, or removal of any electropositive element. So there are four definitions of it. If oxygen is being added, it is called oxidation. If electronegative element, any other like fluorine or chlorine or nitrogen is being added, this is also called oxidation. If hydrogen is being removed, that is also oxidation. Or any other electropositive element is being removed, electropositive elements like your metals, so that is also oxidation. Now let's see some examples. Carbon plus oxygen, any carbon compound like paper, which is carbon, coal, petrol, any like diesel, any there are so many carbon compounds. If you burn them in oxygen, they form CO2. This is oxidation. When we burn magnesium in oxygen, it gives white flames. You must have studied it in class 10. It forms magnesium oxide. So in these reactions, oxygen is being added. If we go on to zinc, now I'm reacting zinc with sulfur. Sulfur is an electronegative element. So when electronegative element is being added, this is also called oxidation, forming zinc sulfide. Now the last reaction is magnesium plus chlorine. It is forming magnesium chloride, MgCl2. This is also oxidation because chlorine is an electronegative element. Now some of you might not be knowing what electronegative and electropositive means. So let me explain it for the last time, because after this it won't be explained in details. Chlorine, it has an atomic number of 17. If I write the electronic configuration, it will be 2, 8, 7. Now the configuration should be 2, 8. The third shell should have 8 electrons, but it does not have 1 electron. It is 1 electron deficient. So it needs 1 electron, and 1 electron can be easily gained or lose also. So it can gain 1 electron very easily and it will become 288. But if it is gaining an electron, it will have a negative sign. Why? Because electron is negatively charged and it is gaining an electron, so it will become negatively charged. So it is highly electronegative. So this is what electronegative element means. So it is forming magnesium chloride. Now let's go on to some more examples. H2S, hydrogen sulfide gas, or reacts with oxygen to form H2O plus 2S. This is a displacement reaction. This is a class 10th concept. Now hydrogen was present in a compound form with sulfide with sulfur forming sulfide. Now let's see in the product, sulfur is removed in the product side, as you can see. So you can say that sulfur had hydrogen, and in the product they removed it got removed. So hydrogen is being removed. So this is oxidation. MnO2 plus 4HCl, it forms MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus 2H2O. In this reaction also, hydrogen has been removed from Cl. So this is also oxidation. Now the last reactions, Ki potassium iodide plus Cl2. It forms KCl plus I2. Now in this reaction, what is happening? Potassium had iodine with it. So the electronegative element, which is iodine, it had an electropositive element called potassium, which is removed in the product. So iodine lost its electropositive element. This is also oxidation. Same goes for the last reaction. This compound that you have here is very very important. It will be mentioned in class 12th also. There is a whole chapter in fact about these compounds. Now this compound is written in square brackets. These compounds, special compounds, are called coordination complexes. These are mostly colored complexes, and the name of this compound is potassium ferrocyanide. It is reacting with hydrogen peroxide to form this product. Now in this reaction also, one potassium has been lost, so it is removed. So this is also an oxidation reaction. Now a substance which is providing oxygen or which is removing hydrogen is called an oxidizing agent or oxidant. Similarly, in reduction, the opposite is going to happen. In reduction, there will be addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen, or removal of electronegative element or addition of electropositive element. So you can just reverse the definition that you studied here. So these are some differences between oxidation and reduction. You can read from here. You can pause the video and learn these. Reduction. Now in the last reaction, copper has been added to chlorine. So electropositive element has been added. So this is also a reduction reaction. Now moving on to some more examples. You have studied so many definitions of oxidation and reduction. Now you will have one more definition of oxidation, which is the electronic concept. In oxidation process, loss of electrons takes place. So if there is an oxidation, there will be loss of electron. Remember this. As you can see, all the metals, you know that all the metals are electropositive. Why? Because they lose their electron to complete their shell to become stable. Sodium, its electronic configuration is 281. It has one electron in its last shell, which if removed it will become stable. So it will lose its one electron, as you can see here. And since it is losing its electrons, so it is undergoing oxidation. Same goes for magnesium. Magnesium has to lose two electrons, so it will lose two electrons and undergo oxidation. So these are some examples. This is ferrous ion and this is ferric ion. The ferrous ions are present in your ferrous sulfate salt. You will find it in your lab. Ferrous sulfate salts are green in color, and if we have to do a test, and in that test ferrous sulfate is required, so we always prepare a freshly prepared solution of ferrous sulfate. Why? Because ferrous ions immediately undergo oxidation to form ferric ion. This is a very very important concept. All these concepts are linked with your theory and your practicals. You have to remember every concept. These are some more examples. Now in reduction there will be gain of electron, such as this. Ferric ion here is gaining electron to convert again back to ferrous ion. There are more examples you can see from here. Let's revise again. Oxidation, in which electrons are lost, reduction, in which electrons are gained. Oxidizing agent will be one which will accept or which can accept one or more electron, and reducing agent are those which can give one or more electrons. Now as you can see in this reaction, hydrogen is forming reacting with oxygen to form water. Hydrogen has been added to sorry as you can see in this reaction, oxygen was present alone, elemental state here, and there it has a hydrogen. So addition of hydrogen has taken place, so it is going undergoing reduction, and hydrogen was alone. Now it has an electronegative element, so it is undergoing oxidation, and the substance that undergoes oxidation is itself a reducing agent, and the substance undergoing reduction is an oxidizing agent. So it is basically reverse. The substance which is undergoing oxidation will be opposite reducing agent, and who is going on reduction will be oxidizing agent. These are some more examples. Try to practice these because these questions are very important. Now redox reaction undergoes it is very common reaction. You use your whenever we are using a battery in your phone, or the simple battery that you use in your remote cell or your clock cell. So the cells have those cells have a redox reaction undergoing. So in that reaction, the basic reaction is this: zinc metal reacts with copper second salt in aqueous solution to form zinc ion and copper. And in this reaction, energy is released. That is your electrical energy. And that energy is used to provide the relevant electricity or energy to run that equipment. So it is a very important concept. It will be used in class 12th also. Now this is a question that you have to do in your notebook. You have to identify which substance is going undergoing oxidation or reduction. Now in the first reaction, as you can see, H2S is reacting with chlorine to form HCl and sulfur. Now H2S is being oxidized here. Why? Because hydrogen, as you can see in the product side, hydrogen has chlorine. Chlorine is a very highly electronegative element. So electronegative element is being added, which is called oxidation. If it is going oxidation, this chlorine will be undergoing reduction. And when both oxidation and reduction occurs simultaneously, meaning side by side, both the reactions are undergoing, this process is called redox reaction. This is a very important definition. Now these are some reactions in which you can see there is a loss of electron, in some there is gain of electron. These are important reaction. You have to practice each one of them, because without them your concept won't be cleared. Now in this question you have to identify the oxidant, oxidizing agent, or a reductant, which is your reducing agent. Now let me show you the solution of two. Others you can practice on your own, and you should practice on your own. Now as you can see here, zinc was present in its elemental state, meaning it was alone. It didn't have another substance to form a compound. So when a substance is present in its elemental state, it is you can consider it has a zero oxidation state. Now what is oxidation state? You will study it ahead. Now zinc was alone, and here it is forming a compound. So zinc is basically undergoing oxidation because oxygen has been added to it, and substance which gets oxygen, uh, it is undergoing oxidation, and it if it is going undergoing oxidation, it will be a reductant, opposite. And you know that in oxidation electron loss takes place, So if there is oxidation undergoing, so you can conclude that it might be donating electrons. That's why it is undergoing oxidation. Now, how many electrons has it lost? That you have to calculate on the basis of the other member that has been added to it. Now, oxygen has been added to it, and oxygen, the valency of oxygen is -2. So, zinc will have a +2 valency or oxidation state here. The other examples you can do on your own. Now, the term that I have used here was oxidation number. Now, what is oxidation number? It is the charge which an atom appears to have when all the other atoms are removed from it as ions. So, the definition is quite apt by itself. You can read it. Now, I can explain this statement by some examples, as you can see here. You have to calculate the oxidation number of sulfur. Now, mind you, this is not valency. That concept you leave in your class 12th only. This is oxidation number. Valency is fixed. Oxidation number is not fixed at all. So, do not try to link this concept with your valency. This is not valency. I am telling you again and again. And you have to practice it because it is an important concept. Now you have to calculate the oxidation number of sulfur in all these compounds. Now first compound is H2S. H2S is a gas which has a rotten egg-like smell. Now you should remember valency, but if you have to calculate oxidation number, you have to remember the valency. And to remember the valency, you should know the atomic numbers of the compound, which you must have studied in your class 9th and your 10th. Now hydrogen has a valency of +1. So there are two hydrogens, so it will become +1 into 2. Now when the another element is being is present in the compound state, you will write a plus sign. Now sulfur, you don't know the oxidation number of sulfur, so just write X, and it will become 2 plus X is equal to, now what will come here? Now see, in this it is 2 negative. If some compound has an ion attached on its power, so you will write that in on the right hand side and next to the is equal to. So since it does not have anything, you will not write anything, you will just write 2 plus X is equal to 0. So X becomes -2. So this is your oxidation state or oxidation number of sulfur. If we go on to the next example called SO4 2 negative. Now sulfur has an oxidation state which you don't know, so write X, then plus oxygen, you know it has a valency of -2, so write bracket -2 into 4. Why into 4? Because there are 4 oxygen atoms. So it has become X plus -2 into 4 is equal to -2. Where did this -2 come from? This is this. If there is a number written in power, you will write it on the right hand side. Now solve this, you will get +6. This is your oxidation number or state of sulfur in SO4 2 negative. It is sulfate ion. Now this is another concept. Now if now so many definitions you have got now of oxidation and reduction. Now another definition is being added to your list of oxidation number key definitions. Now another definition becomes oxidation is that concept or that chemical change in which there is an increase in oxidation number. So if oxidation number is being increased, it is oxidation. If oxidation number is being decreased, it is reduction. Now this is a reaction. Now as you can see, these numbers written above every element are the oxidation number or states which you have to calculate on your own. Now as you can see, Mn has +4 oxidation state here, but there it has +2. So there is a reduction in oxidation number. You will write here reduction in oxidation number, or you can write oxidation number being reduced by 2, and arrow it will be reduction. Now chlorine had -1 here, and there it has become 0. So just use your brain. Is it an oxidation or is it an reduction? When someone is going from -1 to 0, obviously something has been added to it. That's why it has become 0. So this is an increase. So if there is an increase in oxidation number, it is called oxidation. There are some more examples. Try to do these examples, practice these examples in your notebook. Now, what is an oxidizing agent? On the concept that we studied just now, oxidizing agent is that which increases the oxidation number of other substance. Now, and reducing agent will decrease the oxidation number. These are some more examples. You can practice these examples here. Now let me show you the differences between your valency and oxidation number. Now what is valency? Valency is the combining capacity of an atom. This is the definition that you studied in class 10th. Oxidation number is the residual charge which an atom has or appears to have, but it comes when all the other atoms are removed as ions. Now valency is a combining capacity, meaning atoms will combine, then you will get the valency. So they are combining. So there is no concept where half atom can combine or 1/4 or fractional atom can combine. Either atom will combine as a whole or it will not combine. So valency will always be a whole number. It can't be fractional, and valency cannot be 0 except for noble gases. Noble gases do not combine at all because their shells are already complete. So their valency is 0. Other than that, no element has a valency of 0. But when it comes to oxidation, it can be negative, it can be positive, or it can be 0 also, and it can be fractional also. There can be any value. So and valency is fixed, obviously. So nitrogen will always have a valency of 3, it can't change, but oxidation number is not fixed, it is variable. So this is an important concept. Try to learn it, understand it very carefully and properly, because it is a very important concept. Now coming back to types of redox reaction, there are some types of reaction. This is not new for you, this you have studied in 10th also. Combination reactions in which two or more substances combine to form a single product. The next there are some examples: carbon plus oxygen, CO2, CH4 plus 2O2, CO2 plus 2H2O, and some more examples. Now coming back to decomposition, in which in this reaction a single reactant will decompose to form two or more products. Now reactant will be single, products can be many. This is a reaction of decomposition of water. Water can be decomposed by using electricity. The process is called electrolysis. Hydrogen and oxygen are formed. Oxygen is formed at anode and hydrogen is formed at cathode. The next reaction is displacement reaction, in which one ion in a compound, this is important, one ion in a compound is replaced by another ion which is in elemental state. Now these are of two types. First is metal displacement, the other is non-metal displacement. In metal displacement, a metal will be displaced by another metal. Now metal that is displacing will be alone, elemental state. The metal which is being displaced will be in compound form, and this will only happen when this metal which is displacing the other is more reactive. If it is less reactive than the compound wala metal, then it will not displace, the reaction will not take place. You have studied examples in class 10th also. If we keep an iron in copper sulfate solution, iron is more reactive than copper, so iron will displace it, the solution will become green. and copper will be deposited on iron nail. But if I dissolve copper in iron sulfate, then there will be no reaction because copper is least reactive and it is less reactive than iron, so it will not be able to displace it. So this is the concept. Now in non-metal displacement, what will happen in non-metal displacement? These are mainly hydrogen displacement or oxygen displacement reaction. So these are non-metal displacement.